Before we start this video, I just wanted to mention that only 20% of you are subscribed, so if you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing to support the channel. Thanks to you guys, we're well on our way to 200,000. Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. In this video, we're going to be continuing on the subject of one of my previous videos, where I discussed Hogwarts student Katie Bell and how she fell victim to a terrible cursed object, the Opal necklace. The Opal necklace is actually brought to our attention quite early on in the books, but the role that it would play obviously doesn't become clear until much later on. We first see the necklace when Harry mistakenly enters Borgin & Burke's in the year 1992. The sinister necklace was on display in the unusual shop, complete with a warning label. Do not touch. Cursed. Has claimed the lives of 19 Muggle owners to date. After that, the necklace isn't discussed or seen again. That is, until the Half-Blood Prince, when Draco Malfoy decides to use it for dark deeds. The Half-Blood Prince was sort of the beginning of Draco's real transition to the dark side. Where previously he was just sort of the archetypal school bully, the imprisonment of his father brought out all sorts of demons in him. Morally, he was very much on the fence up to that point, and in the Half-Blood Prince, he really cements his new path when he places Madam Osmerta under the Imperius curse, who then places Katie under the Imperius curse. When Katie finds a package in the girls' bathroom, she knows that she has to take it to Dumbledore. However, this package contained none other than the Opal necklace, a cursed magical artifact capable of causing some serious damage. I mean, look what it did to Katie. At once, Katie rose into the air, gracefully, her arms outstretched, as though she was about to fly. Yet there was something wrong, something eerie. Her hair whipped her by the fierce wind, but her eyes were closed and her face was quite empty of expression. Then, 6 feet above the ground, Katie let out a terrible scream. Her eyes flew open, but whatever she could see, or whatever she was feeling, was clearly causing her terrible anguish. Though the books and films began to develop a gradual dark undertone earlier on in the series, this scene really set the bar for the type of new dark content that we were to expect for the remainder of the books and films. Katie's body was dragged and thrown around violently in a vicious display, and dark magic was clearly at play. Some of the darkest magic to appear up to that point. It made the Cruciatus curse look innocent, and this tells me that not only was it dark magic, but powerful magic as well. Now, based on the fact that it's what appears to be an inanimate object, and the fact that in order to be subjected to its full evil nature, you need to touch it, I immediately began to form the connection in my mind with Voldemort's Horcruxes. As you should know by now, Horcruxes are objects in which a dark witch or wizard has imbued part of their soul, the purpose of which is to make it difficult for them to be completely killed. And just like the Opal necklace, Horcruxes commonly have some sort of defense mechanism, counter-charms, jinxes, that make them difficult to even approach. One of the reasons that they have these defense mechanisms is so that they can't be destroyed, as they contain a soul fragment from the original creator. However, the counter-charm is just the first line of defense, as Horcruxes are notoriously difficult to destroy. In fact, there are only a few known ways of destroying them, the most notable of which involves the Basilisk Fang, or rather, the venom within the Basilisk's Fang. The Opal necklace is clearly an old, ancient, dark magical artifact, and given its questionable history, and the fact that you can't directly handle it, I'm sure someone has tried to destroy it at one point or another. Its existence in the Half-Blood Prince, however, is certainly a testament to its resilience, and I think that its durability may be one of the other reasons that points to it being a Horcrux. So, if the Opal necklace is a Horcrux, who did it belong to? Whose soul fragment does it contain? I know that when we think of Horcruxes, we commonly think of Voldemort, but this time, and only this time, he's not the man behind this dark magic. However, I do have a couple of theories for who it could be. According to the history books, there are only 2 known wizards to have completed the Horcrux creation process, Voldemort and Herpo the Foul. The most obvious answer to this question would be that this Horcrux belongs to none other than Herpo the Foul, the ancient dark wizard that hailed from Greece and was known to have created just one Horcrux. It's entirely unknown when Herpo walked the earth, but we do know that it was a long time ago. He is commonly referred to as one of the earliest known dark wizards, and he devoted his life to producing and creating some of the worst kinds of magic imaginable. In fact, he is commonly credited as the original Horcrux creator. But is that entirely true, or is he just the first Horcrux creator that we know about? J.K. Rowling once revealed that, over the course of history, many witches and wizards have tried to create one, in spite of a severe lack of instruction from the evil textbooks. Wizards would have been looking for ways to do exactly what Voldemort did for years, and some of the ways they would have tried would have killed them. So I imagine they're huge parallels. Splitting the atom would be a very good parallel in our world. I do imagine that other people are going to have tried. I think it would be naive not to think that people have been trying for a long time, and thought they succeeded and hadn't, or else maimed themselves or killed themselves in the attempt. It's such a dangerous thing to do. So what does this tell us? To me, this suggests that there just may have been someone out there that produced one and never took credit for it. After all, if the idea of producing a Horcrux is self-preservation, why would you want to boast about it and bring it to everyone's attention? There is actually one other wizard that comes to my mind when considering who this potential Horcrux may have belonged to, and that is Acrisdis. Like Herpo, Acrisdis is another of the famed dark wizards of history. Though he isn't commonly associated with Horcruxes, he is thought to be the original creator of something even more sinister, the Dementors. Very little is known about Acrisdis, other than the fact that he was alive during the 15th century, and that he was a practitioner of some of the worst kinds of dark magic imaginable. He was the original inhabitant of the island of Azkaban, before it became the prison, and it was there that he conducted all sorts of twisted dark arts experiments. He placed concealment charms on the island, which hid its location, and then lured Muggle sailors there, torturing and murdering them. It was on the island of Azkaban that Acrisdis, who was already crazy, completely lost his mind, and given his isolation, aptitude for dark magic, and endless test subjects, I think that there's a case to be made for Acrisdis making a Horcrux of his own. Furthermore, Acrisdis is credited as having created the Dementors, evil, soul-sucking creatures that leave you as just a shell of a person after they're done with you. It only seems fitting that Acrisdis, whose dark magic revolved around properties of the soul, would have pushed the limits and embedded his own soul in some kind of object. If it was indeed Herpo or Acrisdis, then that would mean that they're still alive, which is creepy to think about. And if it was someone else altogether, then it just means that there's a dark wizard out there who doesn't want to take credit for producing it. I mean, all of this assuming that the Opal necklace actually is a Horcrux. What do you guys think? Was it Herpo, Acrisdis, or some other dark wizard altogether? Is the Opal necklace a Horcrux? Let me know down in the comment section below. Until next time, you're a wizard, Harry.